quit my job. I was working in a barber shop. For me, it was like a switch. But hey, wait a minute, this is not how I want my life to be. Doesn't fit with the vision. One day I just told the guy that worked there, e-com, dropshipping. He was laughing at me. You know, everything I tried, this didn't work. I tested thousands of products. I was at a certain point where I was just like 250,000 euros in debt. August, we had our biggest month yet, 800K euros.
$1 million basically.
This year, 3.8 million. Yeah,
Strong.
It was never enough for me, so I wanted the big numbers. But a lot of times people ask me, what niche are you in? Because that's where, for me, you know, I can see a lot of opportunity. The biggest question I always get asked, like, is how you choose that first product. But that's why the best thing to do when you want to start your own brand and store, and then what I'm doing now, like, I'm really focusing, for example, on the...
Yes, guys, welcome to another interview for the Millionaire Commerce channel. Trust me, this one is gonna be special. I'm sitting here with my man Tyron. Tyron, how are you doing?
Good, bro.
Good. So anyway, guys, Tyron is one of my first ever clients, and that says a lot because in the position he's sitting right now, I can only be proud. He has done unbelievable numbers. You will get into that as well in a second. And in this one, I want to also hear how has been the overall ride, you know, as an e-com entrepreneur. How long you now been doing this?
Since 2019, so what's that, like 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. So before we start off, of course, subscribe, like, and yeah, let's get into it. So Tyron, how is Dubai treating you, man?
Good, I like it. It's, you know, you get a lot of inspiration. It's very beautiful. I like the lights in the evening a lot, but still, I do miss home a little bit, I'm gonna lie.
What's home?
Curacao, I live in Curacao. Yeah, so like the island, quiet.
You grew up in the Netherlands? Or?
Yeah, I was born in Curacao. So then at 9 months old, then I moved to the Netherlands. I just grew up there, went to all my school there.
What's very different between Curacao and the Netherlands?
It's very different, and especially also, you know, in the Netherlands you have a whole different mentality, different mindset. While in Curacao, people are much more busy with their faith, much more, you know, people greet each other on the
For the moment, you would say?
More present, yeah, very much. And also, of course, it's a very small island, 150,000 people, compared to the Netherlands, all busy. And
does Curacao, for you as an entrepreneur now, benefit you in that sense? Or does it just bring maybe more calmness, peace?
Yeah, it does benefit me a lot, because for me also, one of the biggest key lessons I learned is also to, you know, trust in my own decision making and build up more self-confidence, stuff like that. And when I'm in Curacao, when I take my time in the morning to sit at the beach and just watch the waves crash, I get time to think, and that helps me a lot.
And in the end, we get paid based on our decisions, right? Our thoughts. So, okay, you always wanted to be an entrepreneur from when you knew, or did that spark came later when you saw something that inspired you?
It was always in my blood. Like, since I was very little already, I made my own clubhouse at school and stuff. I was like 13, I started selling stuff at school. So I was always orientated to be independent. I did have a plan to become a lawyer at first, and I wanted to open my own firm. So I did like MBO 4, like community college level, and I finished that.
I did MBO 4 as well.
Yeah. I finished on law, these big ass law books every single day going to school. But after some time I saw also like the teachers that were teaching me, they themselves were ex-lawyers. They stopped being lawyers to be school teachers.
Yeah, or not at all.
Or not at all also.
And I was getting marketing and business lessons from people who have never run a business, never had marketing and done marketing in their life.
And imagine me, I thought being a lawyer would give me a lot of money, and so I can help my family do stuff. But then I see that the lawyers themselves, they quit to go be school teachers as well. So that's for me was like a switch where, hey, wait a minute, this is not actually how I want my life to be, because this is not it doesn't fit with the vision that I actually have. It will take much longer. And then I just knew, you know what, I'm gonna have to start my own business. That's when it started.
So what happened then? What when you knew, okay, I have to run my own business?
Yeah, I quit my job. I was working in a barber shop. I taught myself how to cut hair. I was working in a barber shop in The Hague, like busy in the city center.
Yeah, The Hague.
Yeah, man. So I was working there for like...
I'm born there.
Yeah?
Yeah, born in The Hague.
I grew up there, like Schilderswijk and all that stuff.
OG.
Yeah, man, for real. Because you know, I was cutting people up, and then one day I just told the guy that worked there. And it's a funny story as well, because Lately, I found out actually the day that I told him I'm gonna start my own business, he was laughing at me. And I didn't even know that until later. But yeah, I told him I'm gonna leave, start my own business. Since then, I never took a job again. I just made it work. A lot of ups and downs and struggles. But yeah, that's when I started with. I wanted to do SMA first, so opened my own agency. Didn't really work out for me. Then I went to bol.com. I wanted to do like Amazon for Netherlands. And that's when I started also with e-com, drop shipping.
Can you walk me through a bit of your beginning of your e-com journey?
Yeah, sure. So I was just scrolling on Instagram, and then while I was already in the mindset of starting my own business, then I saw this course pass by. I think it was e-com trick, something like that back then. And then they also had a very nice story how they know how to brand products, and that interested me because normal drop shipping, I always thought like maybe that's gonna be too hard, but the way they presented it, like really building your own story, own brand, I thought it was interesting. I just bought the course and I started. Although in the beginning, you know, I made many beginner mistakes, right? So I started to sell worldwide. Well, if I started only in Netherlands, for example, I would have been way ahead. But I was just selling anything everywhere. Like a lot of people from, you know, Asia, India, Pakistan, also China. People there were contacting like, hey, how much? But no one really bought. So yeah, all that really it hindered my progress. But then with time, testing products, after some time, I think I bought your course also. I think you brought out 3 different courses. I bought all 3 of them. The first one was just drop shipping.
Dropshipping masterclass.
Yeah.
That was really the first
That was about
one.
the fortnight, that's it.
Yeah. Brand building secrets.
Yeah, exactly. When I took that one, that's when I also went fully into branding and I started my own jewelry brand. So hip hop jewelry, Cuban link chains, stuff like that. And that worked pretty well. I think total I did like 60 or 70K in sales. I had one day where I had like 1K profit, but after that also, you know, it was a lot of.
Still, that's money, you know?
Yeah, it was money, especially back then.
What age?
I think back then I was like 19.
Yeah. Well, 1K profit, 19.
But the next day though, lost 500, next day again. So for me, it was a lot of like stupid mistakes I was making. For example, also the brand, people really loved it. I had some people with 1 million+ followers that my girlfriend, for example, already knew since her childhood from like Colombia and stuff. They were contacting me. I had a football player also, Mohamed Kudus. I made a custom chain for him, brought it to his house in Amsterdam, Zuidas and stuff. But I didn't really double down on the branding like that. I just tried to focus on direct response. And that eventually it didn't really work for me that well. You know?
So I remember the first time we really we hit it off, of course, is when I opened up that I was gonna do first time ever like one-on-one. And I remember like you had to join. It was like no.
I just, you know, it was for me.
Like that. You know.
Actually. Yeah, and also back then I remember I was opening my own business in Curacao. I was really motivated, trying to get back into everything. And I think back then I was always following you on Instagram. You were motivating me a lot already back then. And at the moment that you just launched that one-on-one, and I knew also your track record, what you did with Icon. I always show my cousins and stuff like, look at the numbers this guy's doing. I can do that as well, bro. And then at that point, when I saw the one-on-one, I was like, nah, bro, I have to take this from me. It just came out in the perfect moment. I want to lock in right now, level up. And that's what we did. Yeah, bro.
It's crazy now to see because you changed a lot over the years, you know. But when you came in, you were also involved in some supplements type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or was it jewelry? It was something.
I had the jewelry before that. On Curacao, I was selling like protein shakes, creatine. I was gymming a lot back then, and then when I went to the store, see if they had creatine, they didn't have it in Curacao small. So I was like, okay, I see a gap in the market, and I have this e-com experience. I have experience in marketing. Let me just apply it then here. But the island's way too small for me to really make something big out of that.
I remember telling you that, you know.
I did sell a lot with it though anyway.
No, it's good, you know. Everything starts off small.
Exactly.
So when, on the contrary, did you see really something big is taking place right now? When did you really see, okay, fuck, I'm on to something here? What was that first moment? Can you explain what was happening?
Yeah, I think the first big moment where, because I dreamt big, right? So even small results that I was hitting, it was never enough for me. So I wanted the big numbers. And then the first time I really hit the big numbers was 3 months after taking the one-on-one with you, of course. My coach Dennis, actually 2 months after, because the first store I made was like a TikTok jewelry store for women also. That also popped off. I had a hold on it, stopped that, but then afterwards I went to Facebook, general dropshipping store. Crazy. That was
So
crazy.
I believe, but you have to repeat it for me. From when you joined, I think you were doing maybe 10K a month or something, or not even.
No, not even.
Not even.
No, when I joined, I had the business in Curacao selling the supplements, but that was like maybe 1K a day or something like that. So it wasn't anything crazy. And also e-com online, I didn't have any stores online at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 2 to 3 months later, I remember you were doing like 300K.
Yeah,
a month.
300K a month, yeah. But that was with your help, with the help of the coaching.
Yeah.
Dennis was
So-
a big help.
Just a little bit, you know, tell me how that was. What did you maybe do? Some of those strategies, if you can share. And of course, how did it feel to go to those numbers? Because then you know it's serious.
Yeah. I remember like it was yesterday. The first day we hit the 10K also was like on Black Friday that year. And it was just the happiest moment of my life at that point because, you know, long time, for years, I tried to make it work, but it never really worked for me that well. Until that point where, you know, I just locked in. I was waking up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., you know, running every morning, and really locking in. And that day, when we first hit the 10K on Black Friday, I remember just me and my partner were just happy running through the house, like, bro, this is unbelievable, you know, like it's absolutely nuts. And then afterwards, it also just
It's like surreal.
yeah, it's very surreal.
What did you do in order to allow you
Yeah,
to do
that,
those numbers?
Back then, you know, everyone, of course, were copying from each other.
Yeah.
So one thing also that I learned that I'm still holding on to today, a very big principle, is you gotta go into a different direction than everyone else. So if everyone's going right, you have to go
Blue ocean.
Yeah, so the one thing that I really focused on back then was my offer, and also, of course, the appearance of the site. So, for example, back then was just general dropshipping. For every product that we launched, I just switched out the backgrounds. I made nice colors with it, and I made sure the whole site looked like a legit website. While most of my competitors didn't do that, and that already was enough for me to really break through. And as I broke through, people were copying, but they couldn't keep up to the skill that we were doing back then. And yeah, just went nuts. And still to this day, that's the thing that I would advise anyone else as well. Like if everyone's going left, you have to go right. You cannot do the exact same as
You have to take that extra step
have to
in
take
order
that
to
extra
stand out. Otherwise, you'll be eating off the same pie, you know?
Yeah, it'll never be enough for you to grow and break.
No, we want them big slices, so we have to maneuver. So, okay, you did that big month. I remember it still, you know, it was, yeah, it was amazing for me to see as well because I really saw you came in with basically nothing going on. Of course, you had your IDs and you had your thing in Curacao, and I know you wanted a lot. You was extremely motivated, but we, of course, we had to dial into also find direction. And I think you as an entrepreneur, but also as a person, you just elevated a lot. You grew a lot, you know.
100%.
Because, and I often see this with clients that in the beginning, when you really want it so much, you can also get almost a bit desperate even.
Yeah.
And I think you also had this,
Yeah,
you know?
100%. Like even when I bought your course, I didn't have the money for it. So I was in the process of selling my car and everything to just get it, you know, the one-on-one coaching. And then eventually I got a loan, and then everything was just, you know, I have the loan, but I have to pay it back. Because I got to make this work quickly. And then even with you, I remember like I paid half first, and I was gonna pay the other half afterward. I used it for cash flow, so it was all like I had to make it work. You know, I had to.
You
no other
burned
choice.
the ships.
Burn the ships.
Yeah.
Since then, same thing over and over.
So, okay, can you walk me a bit through how the rest of the months or years evolved? This was, I believe, in 2022 or
22.
yeah, maybe beginning 23.
Yeah.
So that's already, of course, almost 2 or 3 years, or almost 3 years ago. Yeah, a lot has happened, of course.
A lot has happened.
So
yeah, 2022 Q4, that was like the big months and everything going well. But then in December also I started noticing a decline. And then my store also, you know, got a hold on it, so I had to shut it down and blah blah. Then 2023 was a tough year because there, you know, everything I tried, this didn't work. And all the money that I saved up also, I was just using it to keep testing and testing and testing, bro. I spent so much money on just testing crappy products and all that stuff. And I remember that year, it was just the craziest lows and sometimes also ups, you know, so breakthroughs. I made maybe 20 stores that year. I tested thousands of products. I love the game, even today.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into the numbers that I did recently. But yeah, it's just it's a beautiful game. The ups and the downs, everything.
oh, you have to love it.
Yeah, man, you have to love
You know,
it.
that's why of course, often, but that are people who are more short-sighted. Of course, they only want to see the wins, the results. But
Yeah, quickly.
I always, when I look to someone or maybe in a podcast, or I want to hear the fuck ups.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
because that's where the gold is.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I remember you sent me a DM. It was like, hey, I have the mastermind coming up. If you wanna pass by, it would be cool. I was like, okay, bro, I'll come. And then I came from Curacao all the way to Amsterdam, I think for a week or two. And that's also when most of the things changed for me, because I went there and all the guys are doing crazy numbers. But just before I arrived, like, my store got knocked out at Article 7, and I had like maybe 5 different stores. One was doing very well, and then all were offline, even a brand that I was building and stuff. And I remember sitting there between all the guys, and they were all doing good numbers, and me, I just had to say, I'm doing nothing at the moment, and that was tough. But also, I learned a lot from everyone there, and then I also made a choice for myself as soon as I got back to Curacao. Also, what I learned from the mastermind, branding was just a way for me. This is where my skills lie. That's what I love to do, like to do. That's why I even started with e-com in the first place. And yeah, then I just went back to Curacao, I pulled the trigger, I got a plane, I went to Colombia. And there's, it's cheap to live, so I just locked in. I lived there for like 3 months or so. They made the brand. That's the same brand I'm wearing today as well. And yeah, recent results. We did over 5 million in revenue with this brand. I think this year alone, maybe 3.8 million. Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, man.
Euros?
Euros. Yeah. And that's the same brand I started after that mastermind. So yeah, that's crazy.
But to do numbers like that, and then for a longer period of time, then you're onto something.
Yeah.
Can you tell a bit? Of course, we don't have to go into detail, but what you're doing, like.
Yeah, so it's a little bit focused on men, direct response, a product that's also problem solving. A lot of times people ask me, what niche are you in? I always say problem solving, because that's where, for me, I can see a lot of opportunity with the offers that I make and the marketing. You can really I don't want to say play with people's emotion, but use the emotions to leverage more sales and stuff. And yeah, that's a little bit what I'm focusing on. And I think August, we had our biggest month yet, 800K euros with $190
million, basically.
Yeah,
Sick.
And 185,000 euros in profit. It was.
Wow.
Yeah, man. That was good. That was great.
So are there, I think it's good also you share some of the things that really work well for you when it comes to things you maybe did with your brand, on the store, with the ads. What were things you implemented that you saw, okay, this brought a change, or maybe you were able to do that record month, like, so people can take that away?
I think a big one that people always ask me is like, how do you go from general drop shipping, or even like if you want to start branded drop shipping, how do you make the decision on that first product? And I think that was a big one, because this product that I branded, I first ran it on my general store, and it was successful in the general store, and I saw all the metrics and stuff. And that's when we made the decision, me and my partner, to take this product and then make it a branded store. So we had proof of concept of it before we started off with it. And I think that's a big thing, proof of concept, because even with this brand, many times I noticed that, in the beginning, for example, we're going down, up, down, and at any down point you could think, this doesn't really work for me. It's bad, whatever. But then, because I had proof of concept since the beginning, and I saw the data, the stats, and also I'm very data oriented. That's what I know, okay, I can make this something big, because people do like it, they do want it. It's just up to me. And then often, sometimes it's the creative strategy or the CBR to fix.
So right now, right? Okay, you're already this year alone did like 3.8 million euros, right? So that's not just you, right? Who do you have with you?
I have a whole team. Like now, I think we're 20 people. I'm trying to keep it lean, because with 20 people we do work of like 50, because we have AI, of course. So the scripts that we're writing and the things that we're doing, we leverage a lot of AI in it. I have a partner also I started with since the beginning. So yeah, a very good friend of mine. Went to school with him. Yeah, I know him 12 years.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah,
it's good. And then me and him, we started off after my girlfriend, also now fiance. She joined in, and she is very creative. She has her own agency, like creative agency, doing graphic design and stuff. So that really helped me a lot as well. So she joined in. She's my creative director now at the moment.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Like for years, even when we worked together with the one-on-one coaching, she was also there. She made all my ads and stuff.
that's very good.
Yeah. So we built it all up from scratch together, which is good indeed. And after that, of course, I have VAs. I have some people working full time. I have freelancers. Marketing is for me the biggest part. So marketing operation manager, creative strategist, is the thing that I'm focusing on now. And
Yeah, so you're mainly on the front end marketing. That's mainly your role, ads wise, product.
Yeah, mostly just direct response.
Division.
Exactly.
That's it.
And we do have 15% returning customer rate, but because it's a brand, I have like limited product.
Where are you selling?
UK mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, UK. But I have sold successfully in other markets as well. I'm trying to go to the USA, so that's my big next challenge that I have to solve.
If you're doing a 3.8 in just UK alone, if you can tap into US and more in Europe, you'll be at over 10 M a year easy.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm focusing on now, especially like the teams. That's my biggest struggle, because if I have the right teams in place that can help me launch all those different markets sharp, that's the biggest thing. So my latest focus was really building out all my system operations and stuff to make sure that when I have someone new that joins, they know exactly step by step what needs to be done. So there's not much guesswork or...
The structure needs to be in place. And then when that's done, you can go in full savage mode, expansion, multiple markets.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Then the fun can really begin.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I'm focusing on now. Like the biggest question I always get asked, like, is how you choose that first product. But that's why the best thing to do when you want to start your own brand and store. And then what I'm doing now, like, I'm really focusing, for example, on the creative strategy. That's a very big part. So understanding the awareness stage of your customers, mapping out all the different angles that you could target with your product. All that's the most important and biggest chunk of work that you need to do. Yeah. When you have the proof of concept, you just go double down on that, because you can make it work. I think you could sell anything online. It depends on you
how
well you sell.
How exactly? It's selling a dream in the end. You know what people don't buy things to not get a benefit.
Exactly. And if you deliver value into their lives, you make their lives better in whatever way.
Exactly. Yeah, crazy, man. That you're now at this level.
Yeah, man.
It's beautiful to see. Beautiful. So, yeah, what are right now your main focuses? You have a base in Curacao. You plan on keeping it. Like what are your coming plans? Because you're how old now?
24.
24.
Yeah. About to be 25. My plans now, especially what I'm working on a lot for myself, is my faith. So that's something that really helped me also the last few years, with some very big breakthroughs that I had to make also in the person that I am. So I'm really focusing on building myself, my character, personal development. That's big.
Was your faith always there, or?
No, not really, actually. Like, I always said to myself, like, oh man, you know what? I don't really care about God or about religion, because God's in my heart. I know if what's right or wrong. Like, every baby knows you can't slap their mom, stuff like that. But then with time, I started to see, like, hey, you need to be more humble. You need to find, like, a lot of things happen, of course. Very long story, but long story short, you need to have something outside of yourself to hold on to, and a bigger why, bigger foundation, because otherwise you can't really
trust yourself enough. That's not possible.
That's not possible. That's why God had to come into the picture. And when he did, everything changed for me also, so that's like the biggest thing that I'm focusing on lately. Really building up myself to be the person I need to be, and my long-term vision also now that I built up, like I told you before also.
What changed when really faith became a part of this, maybe as an entrepreneur? Because many entrepreneurs, business people are, of course, looking at an ROI. Okay, they're looking at their ads. What's the return on ad spend? They're looking at the results, the finances to grow it, and they think God doesn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But in reality, it has the biggest ROI. But can you maybe?
Yeah, because even, for example, my what I said, I'm very data oriented. But even that, for example, you need to make decisions, right? And especially if you want to build a real business, a company, you have many people that work for you. You want to build those systems. Your decisions really matter, and of course, it's up to you to make the right decisions. And for me, something that really pushed me to faith was making the wrong decisions. And I made some wrong decisions that really, it hit me hard. I went all the way to rock bottom, like, because there was a point also for me. I went to Mexico. I worked there for 3 months. I lived there. I wanted to work with a investor that I had there. It didn't really work out. After that, also, you know, I started to work with big agencies, and I started to go double down. I'm always a person, you know, I think big, and also I risk a lot. But then sometimes the risks don't really pan out. So yeah, with time, with the ups and the downs, I was a certain point where I was just like 250,000 euros in debt, you know, and that was just the moment for me also where it was just a crushing weight and pressure on me.
Yeah.
That just forced me to grow up, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And then for me, that was the moment where I had to find God, you know.
Yeah.
Because before that, also I started off a little bit with, okay, I started to find the truths, etc., etc. But at that point, also I just had to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. Not on my own strength. It's too much for me, you know. And
That's the best thing in that you can find in struggle.
yeah,
That's
I had to surrender.
yeah.
And I just gave it all to him, you know. And now, for example, me making the decisions, the data, the this and that, God does it, but through me, you know. He gives me a newfound energy, motivation, peace. Even now, things go bad or whatever. I don't focus on that anymore. I don't feel those negative emotions I did before. I have a newfound peace, which for an entrepreneur, someone that leads teams and you have to pay out paychecks, blah blah.
Yeah.
It's crucial to have that peace.
It's in the end, it's the number one. Yeah, so.
It is.
Okay, what I want to end it on, because I think that's also one of the centers in this story. You came really from zero, you know, at all types of things you wanted, but you were nowhere near compare where you are at right now, right? Like big brand running team, your wife in the team even. What has changed all in your life, you know, what people can look at you and think, whoa,
Yeah.
you know, what has changed?
It's crazy because if you go back even before our entrepreneurship, how I grew up, for example, you know, single mom household, all the struggles you can imagine, I went through them. So for me, being able to take care of my parents, my mom especially now, you know, she's sick also. She has like rheuma, so she can't work, move a lot. But really taking care of my family. Every time, you know, I go on trips with them. Last time I came from London with my mom, my sister for her birthday. Every Christmas we spend it together. Wherever I am, last one was in Spain. I flew them out. So that's also where
that's a blessing.
yeah, it's a blessing, very big blessing, you know. And I help a lot of people do well with the money that I make, and that gives me a lot of fulfillment also, knowing that
You're taking care.
I'm taking care. And that's also why I started, because that's what I wanted to do in the first place, you know. Like when I grew up, for example, I grew up with like very little. There was even a year, for example, where we were basically homeless because we lost our home, we couldn't pay anymore. Like months where I had to live in dark, like there's lights out, they cut the lights off, I had to wash clothes myself and stuff. So coming from there to the life that I'm living now, like flying to Dubai business class, is almost, you can't really put it into words. It's crazy.
It's like a dream, you know.
It's like a dream, yeah, really. That's why I'm just grateful that I'm able to live this life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay it forward, continue to do good, make a bigger impact, continue to grow, man.
Proud of you, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you for you made it happen, you know. And to me, it's beautiful to see with you, because you were really one of the first ones that also believed in me, the vision. Of course, betting on yourself, but indirectly also betting on me, of course. And
So your mom's bedroom the first time with the first course.
you remember? Yeah. So came a long way, but
helped a lot, bro.
no, it's sick, bro. Too. Then you are now here. You're at my house, chilling. So
Second house.
yes. So guys, who is next? Who's gonna be sitting here in the same chair as Tyrone, coming from nothing, coming from homelessness, coming from Curacao with limited opportunities, and taking the chance to bet on yourself, right? Because that's what it's all about. So if you enjoyed this interview, of course, give it a like, leave a comment, and I hope to see you soon. Ciao.